super friends, and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and Black Lightning, and in today's video we'll be discussing how long is Oliver Queen actually going to be in prison in Arrow Season 7. So let's discuss. Also, if you like this video and you want to see more content like this, be sure to head to my podcast channel, which is called Honor Thy Podcast. It is a weekly DC TV Arrowverse podcast I do with my good friend Dan McCanns, aka Mulekick Media. So if you like this video and you want to see more, be sure to head to the link in the description down below. Also, I'd like to apologise for the lack of videos over the past few days. I was in London for a few days, and then I've came back, and it's just kind of taken me a couple of days to get back into the swing of things, but from this point on, we will be going back to the videos as usual. So I do apologise for that. It's just like a little bit of a break for me when I was in London and I wasn't home. I didn't have my laptop with me or anything, so I wasn't actually able to make any videos, but we are back to form today. So of course, the big cliffhanger at the end of Arrow Season 6 was Oliver being arrested and sent to Slabside Maximum Security Prison, and this has led a lot of people to think about and speculate when and how Oliver is going to stay in prison, for how long, and when will he be getting out. Now I know this video may seem very late. I know a lot of people have made this video, you know, way back when, pretty much when the season ended, but I have kind of not really spoke about it. I mean, I've done a couple things when we've done the leaks and things, but I've never really spoke about my personal opinion on this, and I'm quite glad I left it, because with regards to some recent information, it seems like we may be getting a bit more hints as to when this could be paying off and when Oliver could actually be getting out of prison. So this is my personal opinion on when I think he might be getting out. So we know in the trailer he has been in there for 5 months, which is obviously the actual real life time jump that we're going to have between Season 6 and Season 7. He's also going to be in there for Episode 1. Now, if you remember back to the leaks we received a while ago, we did see that it stated that Oliver was going to be in there for 3 episodes. This was actually shot down by Stephen Amell himself. He did say that those rumors were false. Now, he didn't actually say if it was less or if it was more. I doubt it's going to be less. I really don't think it'll be less than 3 episodes, because if it was, it would just be another thing that the CW will have to deal with, because that's just another problem that, you know, the CW always tends to do. They do it with the Flash a lot, you know, like Flashpoint was only 1 episode, the Flash Rebirth was only 1 episode, you know, Barry being in the Speed Force was only 1 episode, so they really need to move away from that. If they really want Oliver to have this impact of being in prison, they need to actually show it on screen. It's all good saying he was in there for 5 months during the break, but we're not going to see that. We need to actually see him in prison for a sizable amount of time, and that means putting him in there for definitely more than 1 episode, and more than 3 I think is definitely substantial. Also, another thing that's interesting to point out is that obviously it seems like most of Team Arrow are disbanded. It seems like most of them aren't operating as vigilantes anymore. It seems like Renee might be doing something, but besides him, it seems like everyone else has just kind of gone back to their lives. And what's interesting is that does kind of leave Star City without a protector, but we do know that obviously somebody is running around and operating as the Green Arrow, who we have all kind of speculated to be Roy Harper, given the fact he is coming back next season, and he has been trained by Oliver, he has the same skills. It would make sense that he would become the Green Arrow, and I could see the situation being, you know, when Oliver was perhaps doing that farewell tour at the end of Season 6, where he went around each of the main characters and kind of resolved all their issues before he got arrested, I feel like maybe in that time frame he could have actually, you know, sent a letter to Roy or something and sent him a suit and said, look, this is what's happening, I'm being arrested, I need you to come back, Star City needs a protector, the team's gone, just come back, here's the suit, take it and protect my city while I'm gone. And I feel like that may be what's happening. So, you know, Oliver isn't desperate to get out of prison. He doesn't need to get out there to protect the city, because he knows Roy is out there doing it for him. So again, this leaves the chance for Oliver to be in prison for a bit longer than what we might suspect. Now, one thing I particularly want to talk about is the upcoming crossover for this season, which of course is going to take place in Gotham City with Batwoman. And I feel like this is where we're going to see Oliver get out. Now, personally, I feel like this is going to happen because of the way Stephen Amell is talking about it. It definitely seems like he is involved. It seems like he is definitely a part of it. So that makes me think that he will be operating back as the Green Arrow when this crossover comes about, which is going to be Episode 9 of this season. The crossover is Episode 9 for all of the shows this season due to The Flash wanting to do its own thing in Episode 8. So Episode 8 of Arrow is actually the mid-season finale, and then we're going to get the crossover as like its own separate thing, which I actually quite like that. I think that works quite well. It's a bit different, but I think it works to kind of end off the season and then do the crossover. I think that's quite a good way to do it. But if Oliver is involved in the crossover, then that means that he must be out of prison. That means he must be, you know, out of it by then. And that means that perhaps Roy, who was the Green Arrow, has gone back to being Arsenal, maybe? I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what's happening with Roy next season. But this does make me think that he would actually be out of prison and he would be operating as the Green Arrow again once the crossover comes about. I think it would have been cool maybe if they actually would have left Oliver in there in the crossover as well, and perhaps we got to see Roy Harper as the Green Arrow during the crossover. That would have actually been a really cool decision, I think, to actually put Roy in such a position where he's actually leading the team, because obviously the Green Arrow is always kind of like, or at least Oliver anyway, is always designated team leader for the crossovers. Like, he's always the one who takes the lead. It'd be quite interesting to see if they actually put Roy in that position, but personally I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think, you know, because like I said, a lot of people throughout the Arrowverse, they don't really know Roy, so it'd be quite interesting to see how, you know, Roy kind of show up and everyone be like, who's this guy? Whereas everyone knows Oliver, everyone respects Oliver, and everyone follows him. So I feel like, again, this is just a way to kind of bring Oliver back into the fold. It'd be perfect for the crossover. Although it would have been cool to maybe see Roy or even Diggle take up the mantle of the Green Arrow during the crossover, just, you know, someone other than Oliver. I think it just would have been a bit too much to handle for the other characters. So my personal theory is that Oliver is going to get out in the mid-season finale. I feel like that's going to be the ending of the mid-season. We're going to go through, you know, the first 8 episodes of the season. And again, it won't feel as long for a mid-season because the mid-season is technically an episode less than what it normally is. So it'll be 8 episodes, and in episode 8, maybe even episode 7, we will see Oliver get out of prison. We'll see him get out, and maybe in episode 8, you know, the mid-season finale itself, we may actually see Oliver operating again, you know, kind of getting back into the swing of things before we get to the crossover in episode 9. But I think what would be really effective is if the, you know, the mid-season cliffhanger, not necessarily a cliffhanger because we would get it in the crossover like the next week, but, you know, kind of like to end off the crossover, he comes out of prison, and that's how he gets out. And depending on how he gets out, obviously we don't know, will he break out or will he eventually be let out? Obviously we know that Samandra Watson is coming back next season, so we don't really know what's going on there. But I think like the mid-season finale, or at least episode 7, is the perfect opportunity to bring Oliver out, so we can have him out of prison by the crossover, and he's back into the swing of things as the Green Arrow for the crossover when we go to Gotham, when we meet Batwoman. And, you know, we can see him actually operating with the team. If the team comes back together by then, we could also maybe see him working with Roy once again. It'd be really awesome, and I feel like that's just the perfect fit for the season, to bring him out then, and then to have him to come out for the crossover. But when do you guys think Oliver is going to be out of prison? Make sure you let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think it will be very, very soon, or do you think it will be a bit later on? Or do you agree with me that the mid-season point, or around about there, is kind of the perfect time for Oliver to come out? Make sure you let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. It will help me out a lot. And share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV, and get them to join the community. And as always guys, please subscribe for your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And with all that said guys, I hope to see you again in my next video.